What is it that we ought to be doing?
And I
And I don't
don't
mean it
mean
metaphorically or
metaphorically or
rhetorically or
rhetorically or
poetically or
poetically or
theoretically,
theoretically.
or in the modern day typical Stoic ideal where you renounce cheap pleasure and work hard and improve yourself and do all these things. Although Stoicism is good and all, I think the way it's been presented nowadays, it's kind of, it's a kind of a joke. I ask this question regarding your long term ideal future. I ought to be taking care of my family. I ought to fix myself and deal with my deep trauma so as to be a healthy individual and have healthy relationships. I often get stuck on the daily task that I forget to think long term. Who do I want to be? What do I want to accomplish? Generally speaking, we're fixated on money, status, and other stuff. However, we know that these factors don't really contribute to our happiness. Money can be good and all, but you know, who is to say that celebrities aren't fucking miserable? There's something else that men nowadays are missing. And when I say men, I mean boys, teens, adults, whomever really, but mainly guys. We miss a brother. We miss a fellow man whom we can share our triumphs and problems with. We have replaced this with YouTube, and I don't think the other apps like Instagram, Twitter count because of the format that they inherently have. I don't think you can truly form connections like you can on YouTube, and I don't even think you can form connections on YouTube. It's more parasocial. You just think you know them, but you don't really know them. Um, it's normal to seek this sort of brother relationship in the real life, but with the aid of technology, it's been used incorrectly by most of us. And I was made aware of this when I was watching a couple of videos by Travis D. Barrett. I thought that his content was really fucking good, like pretty good quality. And in most of his videos, Christianity's brought up one way or another, just due to the nature of the video. And he made this video on villains and whether they're made by circumstance or if they choose to be a villain. And it made it crystal clear to me. To me, most young men who are in the community of self improvement are more than anything in the self discovery community. I don't think that there's such thing as a self improvement community. I think it's more or less, hey, you figure out who the fuck you are, and it's sort of normal to improve yourself. Once you know what you have to do and who you need to become in order to become what you want to have or who you want to be, it's kind of weird to not do that. I think once you discover yourself and you figure out why the fuck you smoke, you figure out why you have these traumas and how you cope with them, you sort of inherently fucking work towards getting rid of them. I think that, meditating and all of that are tools so as to figure out why the fuck you're coping the way you are. Coping in the manner of like, all right, I cope with my traumas by smoking weed or by smoking cigars or cigarettes, I mean, or by watching too much porn or by not working out or by this, that, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But once you figure out the reason, it's sort of second nature to just deal with it. So we're all misunderstood, really, and due to circumstance, we might feel like the villain. And I mean, shit. There's even the fucking there's even a trend on TikTok called the villain arc, where you just better yourself to be a sort of revenge on your ex. And I think it's kind of funny, but as long as you get the ball moving and you get to working out, I think just working out and going to the gym will fix most of the trauma. And on your way to becoming buff, you'll realize that revenge is not really the thing you should be doing. So you don't really need to turn into a villain. You don't need to outcast yourself. You don't have to turn into something you're not. Learn instead more about yourself. You ought to understand yourself, for one who is in peace with himself can bring peace upon others. Not to get all religious and stuff, but Jesus Christ is the peaceful idea we should strive to become. I don't know, but it would require a lot of inner peace and self knowledge to be able to become the savior of people, to seek the lost and misguided and lead them to the higher path. Bring them back, if you will. You ought to become a strong individual so as to be a guiding light for the lost. After all, it's sort of what we have to do. We have to help other people to be, to feel good sometimes. You ought to be strong so you can be strong for the weak. People can be weak in so many different ways, not just physically or mentally. So if you remain firm in your resolve, you can bring confidence among the doubtful, and even inspire. Who knows? Doubt, in my opinion, is the killer of man. I don't know how prevalent this whole thing of self-doubt is, but I think it's the underlying reason behind meek man. Meek, I don't mean weak. You can be quite strong, yet be scared of encounters with normal people. You can be introverted and still be social and not afraid of interactions with other people. Most guys cower under the veil of introversion to not deal with people. I think it's kind of bullshit because there's so many people that are introverted yet so successful in social interactions that we confuse them for extroverts. If your mom and dad have instilled this fear of adventure when you grow up, when you've been growing up, and you start doubting yourself because either you need permission or you need to be supervised in order to do anything, this might be an underlying issue. I doubt myself because I've been conditioned to, and it's not really my parents' fault, but it's my problem. There's no real excuse, and there's nothing you can really do to just sort of. You shouldn't be blaming it on anyone. You should just deal with it. There are countless instances where I was influenced in one way or another to doubt myself and not to do the risky behavior. I grew accustomed to it, and it's my job now to overcome this conditioning and relearn the useful behavior. If you can relate and find yourself early on this journey, I recommend a couple of initial steps. First, join a gym, dude. It doesn't really matter what sort of gym it is, so long as you can lift weights there or do martial arts. It's there's a natural and controlled conflict in any gym, which is so fucking helpful when overcoming yourself, your doubtful self. Bodybuilding makes you push hard, so when you start pushing hard and you start pushing big numbers, you aren't scared of hurting yourself that much. You are in control. Martial arts is another thing, and I haven't done it in years, so I can't really comment on it, but it's helped so many fucking guys, become themselves. The pain you endure in the gym is healthy for the body and mind. It opens up the gate to try other forms of pain. Formative pain. Not just dumb pain, because you can experience stupid pain. The other tip is to just do what you think you should be doing. And I know what I have to do, but you don't know what I have to do, and I don't know what you have to do. It's something that you just inherently know what you need to do. So do that, and you should do it now. If your heart is racing while doing it, good. Unless you're doing nothing, then you should see a doctor. But we all know what we have to do in order to succeed. It's just a matter of overcoming fear with your will. In my opinion, fear is not the killer of man. It's okay to be scared when facing a dangerous foe or a intimidating task. Fear wakes you the fuck up. You are scared, so you have to be better, stronger. Fear is healthy. Doubt will make you question yourself, and when you don't trust yourself, then, in my opinion, you're living on borrowed time. You ought to overcome yourself, become strong, not just for you, but for your family.